Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report. Let's break down some news and rumors around your Dallas Cowboys. First up, are we overreacting to the Jaylon Smith move from middle linebacker to strong side linebacker? Well, the people are most certainly talking 2 stars on this one. That's what Todd Archer says. He says that it's not about Smith moving full-time to the strong side linebacker spot, but more as a positional flex. And I do get what Archer's saying. I understand what the mindset is there. He said there needs to be a tapping of the brakes. Here's the thing, though. Positional flex is good, but it's not always the right decision. And I do have some concerns with the Cowboys always having their young guys playing multiple positions. It's happened with Tyrone Crawford. It's happened with David Irving, and it's happened with Byron Jones. At times, I think the Cowboys' decisions here come at the cost of their players developing the way that they should. So yes, Smith makes sense as a strong side or a Sam linebacker. But I do have some concerns about him playing Sam on first and or second down, and then moving back to the middle linebacker spot and playing in that nickel package on second/third downs. He's going to remain a 3-down linebacker, but I think it's right to have some concerns about Smith not being a full-time middle linebacker, even if it's not going to be a full-time move to strong side linebacker. I know people are talking here, and I do get the concerns, though. I have some concerns as well, but we're giving it 2 stars. I'm Tom Downey, folks. Follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney for more Cowboys coverage. If this is your first time watching the show, you see the stars, and we'll show you what they mean here. 0 stars? That's fights Odell Beckham won against the net. It is fake news. Do not buy it. 1 star is a small shred of truth. 2 stars means the people are talking. 3 stars means it's pretty likely. And 4 stars means Dez caught it. NFL's going to change the rule because, yes, Dez Bryant caught that catch against the Packers. Our second rumor now. Are the Cowboys not going to tender fullback Keith Smith? 4 stars here. This is kind of more on the news side of things. Dallas will not be tendering fullback Keith Smith. However, that does not mean that they don't want Keith Smith back next year. The tender would cost the Cowboys just under $2 million. That's too much to pay for a fullback, even a solid one like Keith Smith, who offers special teams ability. The Cowboys want a cheaper, multi-year contract extension. I think that gets done. They've done stuff similar in the past with guys like Chris Jones, their punter. So no tender, but I think he'll be back with the Cowboys next year. Third up on the list here, did the Cowboys meet with David Irving's team at the Combine? 4 stars on this one as well. The Cowboys did have some talks with David Irving's representatives. This is a good sign for the Cowboys to sit down and talk with David Irving's team about the tender and about his potential contract extension. As we've said before, I do not think David Irving will get a long-term contract done this year, but he will get a tender, be it first or second round. We don't know yet, but expect Irving to be back on the Cowboys next year unless the Cowboys give a second-round tender and a team comes through with a very, very heavy contract extension. 3 rumors down to get to number 4 on our list. Does Jerry Jones want Dez Bryant back? 4 stars on this one as well, folks. Jerry Jones had his little Combine interview, has a lot of stuff that he said this week. And as I've said before, Jerry Jones, folks, is playing good cop in the whole Dez Bryant situation. He said he wants Dez back on the Cowboys. Stephen Jones is playing bad cop. Jerry Jones is playing good cop. And Jason Garrett is playing the clappy cheerleader cop. I do think Jerry wants Dez back. The cap hit is a big deal, but he definitely wants Bryant back on the Cowboys. And oh, by the way, if you want Dallas to be better next year, that requires Dez Bryant being on the field because they do not have a reliable option behind Dez as a number 1 wide receiver. Speaking of Dez, will the Cowboys finally have their meeting with Dez Bryant in the near future? This one seems pretty likely. Jerry Jones says it was going to happen sooner than later. We don't really have a specific time frame, so it's only 3 stars on this one. The Cowboys, I think that they will do this, could ask Bryant to take a pay cut. Ian Rappaport says the release would be the last case outcome, the last case scenario there. I think you're going to see the Cowboys and Dez work something out. Probably not going to be a long extension or a short extension. I think it ends up being a pay cut. Maybe the Cowboys get Dez to move some of his base salary into incentives, something along those lines. I do want to know from you guys, though, what should the Cowboys do with Dez Bryant? Heart for a keep, like for a trade, laughy face for a cut, and a wow face for a pay cut. Pay cut would very much be ideal, although Dez Bryant has been iffy at best when it comes to his comments about taking a pay cut. Maybe the Cowboys and Dez work something out there, but I do think Bryant is back with the Cowboys next year. If they want to win next year, that's their best outcome. Next up on our list, have the Cowboys extended Will McClay, the Cowboys VP player personnel? 4 stars on this one as well. McClay is not going anywhere. He has signed a 2-year extension with the Cowboys. This comes after he declined a meeting with the Houston Texans about their GM job. Now, McClay holds the title of VP of Player Personnel. He is not the GM in name, but outside of Jerry and Stephen Jones, Will McClay is the loudest voice in the Cowboys front office when it comes to draft and free agency moves. He is not quite the GM, but he's as close as you can be to being one, very much like Duke Tobin with the Cincinnati Bengals. He has a lot of power within the Cowboys front office. Even though there is no GM title for him, he has a very similar amount of power when it comes to the Cowboys' decision-making. He is a good guy the Cowboys want to retain, and it's a positive thing he did not go to the Houston Texans. Back to the offensive side of the ball here at number 7. Will there be more college elements for Dak Prescott in the offense? Well, the people are talking, in this case, the people that are talking are owner Jerry Jones. He said that he thinks the Cowboys, that some of the college stuff needs to be thought about here. That's a big part of the conversation that's going on among the staff right now. Hopefully, this is true. I think if you let Dak Prescott use his legs more, which doesn't always mean running the ball more, that'll help the offense become more Dak-friendly. With that said, I'm curious what you guys think here as well. Do you actually trust the Cowboys' offensive staff to implement some more, RPOs, some more college-type stuff that allow Dak to use his legs outside and inside of the pocket? I'm not quite as optimistic. I hope the Cowboys are able to do that, but I haven't seen it enough from Linehan and from Jason Garrett in the past. So that's why it's only 2 stars, because people are talking, but we'll see if it's actually implemented by the Cowboys this year. Speaking of quarterbacks, does Dallas prefer to develop a quarterback as opposed to signing a veteran free agent? This one seems pretty likely. 3 stars on this one. Jerry Jones says the Cowboys are happy with Cooper Rush. They won't look to add a veteran quarterback, confirming what Stephen Jones has said earlier this week. They said if they do anything, it's more likely to develop another young quarterback, probably undrafted free agent is the route that they go here. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this. I would prefer a veteran guy. I wouldn't even mind someone like Mike Glennon. That's a solid quarterback. I would trust him more than Cooper Rush, who we haven't really seen do a whole lot, and there was a reason he went undrafted coming out of Central Michigan. Some great news here coming up at number 9 is Byron Jones going to move to cornerback. We've been giving this one 3 stars. We're upgrading it now to 4 stars, though. Dez caught it. It's happening, folks. Byron Jones going to make the move to cornerback. Jerry Jones essentially confirms it this week, says, so it's a little surprising that, quote, we're going into this training camp with him over at corner. It's done deal. 4 stars. I am very glad to say this, folks. Byron Jones making the move to cornerback. I think that's his ideal position. I can't wait to see him play there. This could still change, though, if the Cowboys get a really notable cornerback in the draft, but I don't see that happening. I think you're going to see Byron Jones as an outside corner, and I can't wait to see it. Jerry Jones, again, with that quote there, more or less confirming it. He is going to cornerback. We're going to take a look here at some draft prospects the Cowboys have visited with at the Combine here in just a second, but first, a word from our sponsor, The Guild. We filmed this on a Sunday here, March 4th, so the Combine is not over yet, but there are some notable players the Cowboys have met with, including some tight ends, so 4 stars on this one, and these last 2 to 3 rumors here. Are the Cowboys looking at tight end prospects? They've met with 2 ones in particular. First up is South Dakota State tight end Dallas Goedert. Could be a first-round pick, could be an early second-round pick, one of the top guys this year. They also met with tight end Hayden Hurst, who's drawn some buzz as a potential top tight end off the board. Both these guys should go at least by the end of day 2. They could be round 2 or round 3 picks for the Cowboys. Monitor them if the tight ends fall a little bit in the NFL draft. All the Cowboys fans want a wide receiver, and understandably so. I want one as well. Good news is the Cowboys have met with at least 6 wide receivers at the Combine. 4 stars on this one as well. Some informal, some formal meetings. So here are the 3 guys that we know of that Dallas has met with at the Combine. Formally, Alabama wide receiver Calvin Ridley. Maryland wide receiver DJ Moore, who I'm a big fan of. Clemson wide receiver Deion Kane. Those were the official 15-minute meetings. Informally, they met with EQ St. Brown of Notre Dame, a great size, speed, and weight guy. Christian Kirk of Texas A&M, I know a lot of you fans like. And DJ Chark, who have gotten plenty of Twitter questions about. Those last 3 guys have some good speed, especially Brown and Chark. I think you'll see the Cowboys meet with more receivers, which should come out as the week goes on. I would be stunned if they do not walk away with at least one wide receiver in this year's draft. They could very well double dip. So those are the receivers and tight ends. The Cowboys have also met with some other prospects during the NFL Combine that we know of so far. Chief among them is Isaiah Wynn, the offensive guard of Georgia, who could be the Cowboys' first-round selection. Nyheim Hines, who had the fastest 40 time among running backs this year, was also a meeting. He's from NC State. They also met with North Carolina A&T's Brandon Parker, a developmental type at offensive tackle, and they had a formal meeting with Iowa linebacker Josie Jewell, who could be a round 3, maybe a round 4 selection for the Cowboys in this year's class. Those are the prospects that we know of so far. Check back on Tuesday's Cowboys Report. I think we'll have more updates for you guys on that end.